Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Tonight the Tigers are back home and they return to Comerica Park limping. Both Miguel Cabrera and Torrey Hunter had to leave the series in Chicago with injuries, and neither will be in the starting lineup here tonight. However, it's still a beautiful night for baseball here in the Motor City. Welcome to Comerica Park. Game one in this series featuring the Phillies and the Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us, and it's good to be home, but the Tigers are a little bit shorthanded. Two of their key components out of the lineup tonight. Still 25-man roster, everyone has to contribute.
And something else Jim Leyland knew. He knew he'd need some contributions from some guys in the minor leagues and some of the guys that don't get a chance to play every single day. They still have Jackson. They still have Prince. They still have V-Mart. They have Peralta. They have some guys that can score some runs this evening.
Pretty good pitching matchup here tonight, although Cole Hamels is really struggling this year with 12 losses. He will oppose Doug Fister this evening.
What's up with that? I mean, he's lost more games than any other National League pitcher. The only other pitcher that has lost more games than Hamels is Joe Blanton out in Los Angeles. Checks in with a 91-60 career record, which is outstanding. He won 17 games last year. He's lost 12 already this year. Fister in his last two, he's been superb. 12 innings, he's only given up 3 runs and an 8-5 record. He'll be throwing lots of ground balls today. Jim Leyland's got those guys out there that can gobble them up, too.
All right, after a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios and join Mickey York. Coming up in this one here tonight, the return of interleague play to Comerica Park. The Phillies making their first appearance here since 2002. They'll face Cole Hamels tonight. Tigers-Phils coming up next. Philadelphia Phillies are in town. Charlie Manuel, the winningest manager in Phillies history, leading his club into play here tonight. And the Tigers and Phil squaring off in this 3-game series here at Comerica. We are ready for baseball this evening as Michael Young leads it off for the Phillies, facing Doug Fister for the Tigers. And the first pitch of the ball game is outside. Michael Young batting .278, former Texas Ranger. The Tigers very familiar with Michael Young and his abilities. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Doug, and it's on the ground left side. Diving stop at third by Santiago, and a good way to start this one tonight. Nice play. 1 up and 1 away.
Ramon Santiago, a late addition into the starting lineup this evening with Doug Fister on the mound. Jim Leland knew that there would be a lot of ground balls in the infield, and Santiago's got some great hands.
So Miguel Cabrera is still out of the lineup. So is Torrey Hunter. He was a late scratch, and Santiago getting the start at third base. Andy Dirks also placed in the lineup here tonight. Kevin Franzen will step in now with 1 out. Franzen looks at a strike 0-1. Doug Fister tonight, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Last couple of times Doug Fister has gone out there, he's been awfully good. He checks in with 8 wins and 5 losses, an ERA just under 4, and 98 strikeouts for Fister, just 23 base on balls.
Little pop up back a second, and Perez goes back to make a nice catch. Hernan Perez in short right field tracks it down. 2 gone.
In the little time that Perez has been in the big leagues, he has showed a lot of range at that second base position, where they're going to the right or the left and leaving the feet, getting to his feet quickly to make accurate throws to first base, or taking away a bloop single as he did there from Franzen.
Great range, and he really has showed well here in the big leagues defensively. Here is Jimmy Rollins now with 2 outs. Rollins at .262. Tigers have seen him a bit over the years. 3 home runs against Tigers pitching. And Rollins looks at ball 1.
Rollins has had a great career. He's been the starting shortstop for the Philadelphia Phillies for a long time. He's made a few all-star teams. He's won a few Gold Gloves.
Like the Tigers, the Phillies are without 2 of their big offensive performers. And that, of course, to be Dominic Brown, who suffered a concussion. Ryan Howard is out of their lineup and done. So Charlie Manuel going with a lineup that does not include 2 of his bigger pieces of artillery. The 1-1. Ball high, 2 balls, 1 strike. Rollins remains, however, and he's been a good offensive performer. He has hit safely in his last 6 in a row. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Missed it inside. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Phillies on a very difficult road trip right now. They just left St. Louis, where they were swept. The Cardinals are the best team in the National League, and you can argue that the Tigers are the best team in the American League.
3-1 pitch is hammered at first and knocked down by Prince. Fister will cover, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Nothing doing for the Phils, and we go to the bottom of the first. set to do battle here tonight. We'll check out the Tigers starting lineup presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. And for Detroit, it looks like this. It'll be Jackson at the top, playing at center field. Dirks is batting second, then Tui Asasopo in left. Fielder Martinez Peralta in the middle tonight. Perez, Santiago, and Avila, your bottom three. And they are facing the left-handed offerings of Cole Hamels.
Cole Hamels has already lost 12 games, which is a career high for losses for Hamels, and we have not even approached the month of August yet.
There's a shallow pop to right field. Tough play, and it's going to drop. Jackson on his way to second. He's in there safely with a blue two-base hit.
One thing we know about this Tigers team, and the Philadelphia Phillies pitchers will quickly find out. The Tigers, they love to swing at the very first pitch, and usually when they do so, from a team standpoint, their batting average is way up there.
Well, it's going to get a little bit higher with that double by Jackson. Chase Utley ran that thing down, but he just couldn't quite get there. It would have been a spectacular play.
Cole Hamels has a fastball that will go anywhere from 87 to 93 miles an hour. He has one of the best changeups for any left-handed pitcher in the game of baseball.
Dirks swings on the first pitch, pops it up behind the plate. Ruiz may have room, and he does, right in front of the bench.
Let's take a look at the Philadelphia Phillies starting defense. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons and Jimmy Rollins. He has been a mainstay at that shortstop position for a decade for the Philadelphia Phillies. He's won 4 Gold Gloves as well.
Jimmy Rollins, the veteran shortstop, still going strong, anchoring their defense up the middle. And now here is Tui Asasopo. The Tigers have swung at the first 2 pitches that Cole Hamels has thrown. Tui with a chance to drive in a run, and he swings the first pitch and fouls it back. 0-1 on Matt, batting in the 3 slot again here today. Tui Asasopo at .302 this year. He's hit 6 home runs. Hamels is 29 years old, a native of San Diego, California. He brings home the 0-1. Strike called on Tui Asasopo, 0-2. Well, Matt right now is behind in the count, but this year 345 with men in scoring position. Tigers trying to take advantage of the leadoff double by Jackson. And the 0-2. High and outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I told you that Hamels has the 4-seam fastball, which will get to 93. He'll also cut the fastball quite often this evening to the right-handers inside, away from the left-handed bats. A 12-6 breaking ball as well to go along with that real good changeup.
The 1-2 is low and in, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And a lot of times after he's gone inside with the fastball, he'll simply fade that changeup down and away to the right-handed hitter. We'll see what he does here to Tui Asasopo.
Fielder waiting on deck. Hamels this year is 0-2 with a 6 ERA in interleague play. And he did stay outside, but Tui Asasopo would not chase.
Nice job by Tui Asasopo laying off that changeup at 82.
So the count is full now on Matt. He was 1 for 11 in the road trip. So a lot of playing time in Chicago against the lefties that the White Sox threw at the Tigers. Ground ball back to the right side of the infield. Utley has it there. And Tui Asasopo is retired. Jackson goes to third, 2 outs. Going to bring up Prince Fielder. Fielder at 267 with 17 home runs. Finished the road trip with 7 hits. Hamels gave up the leadoff double, but since has retired the next 2 batters. Prince, of course, these numbers with Milwaukee, really good numbers against the Phils. 355. 11 home runs. Bouncing ball first base side. That is a fair ball. Hamels will cover and they'll record the out. Nicely done. So the Phillies play some pretty good defense to retire the side. Leadoff double is stranded at third. And we go to the second tonight at Comerica. You saw Young, Franson, and Rollins in the first inning. Utley, Young, and Ruff in the middle of their lineup tonight. Mayberry, Nix, and Carlos Ruiz will round out the starting 9 for Charlie Manuel. And Doug Fister back to work here in the second. Chase Utley leads it off. Batting in the cleanup slot for the Phils. He looks at a ball outside. Utley batting .283. He's hit 13 home runs this season. And when you look at his numbers, career against the Tigers, small sampling, but still pretty good. .462. The 1-0 pitch in for a strike. 4 weeks on the DL this year for Utley, who has had injury problems in his career. He had an oblique problem earlier this season. Fister ready with the 1-1 pitch. And it's driven foul down the right field line. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another nice gathering here at the ballpark tonight. The Tigers returning home. A couple of National League opponents. Got the Phillies in for 3. You got Washington coming in next week for a pair. And then, not surprisingly, the White Sox, who we will see a lot of in the next month and a half. There's a bouncing ball to third. Santiago is there.
Take a peek at the starting defensive alignment for the Detroit Tigers this evening. In the outfield is Tuiasa Sopo, Jackson, and Andy Dirks. Santiago, Peralta, Perez, and the Prince in the infield. And Alex Avila getting the first start of this series against the left-handed Cole Hamels.
Don Kelly was originally in the starting lineup. Jim Leyland made a switch. He put Santiago at third base when Hunter was scratched. Of course, Cabrera scratched again tonight. Delman Young hits a hard line drive to the shortstop that's caught by Peralta just before it hit the grass.
What new? Delman Young swinging at the first pitch.
We have seen a lot of one-pitch outs. Did he catch this one?
Maybe not.
Apparently he didn't.
He'd have thrown him out anyway had he not gotten that call from Jeff Kellogg, the third base umpire.
Johnny was ready to throw the ball, but once he saw the out recorded by the umpire, he just held on to it. 2 outs here is Darren Ruff, batting .292. In for strike 1. Ruff was recently called up from their AAA team July the 6th when Ryan Howard was placed on the disabled list. Here's the 0-1. Ground ball to short. Johnny has a routine play there. And a rough is out. Going to be a 1-2-3 inning. 6 up, 6 down against Doug Fisker. A part of Detroit and the community since 1849. Jeep get a great summer deal on a legendary Jeep SUV at the Jeep Summer Clearance Event. And by Blue Diamond, get your good going. Back here at Comerica, again a big crowd on hand here. Tigers come back home for a homestand after a successful road trip, winning 4, losing 3. And Victor Martinez will lead things off. It'll be Martinez, Peralta, and Perez facing Cole Hamels, who had a snappy first inning. In fact, Hamels threw just 9 pitches, and the Tigers were swinging early and often.
3 of the first 4 Tigers hitters swung at the first pitch in the first inning against Hamels.
It was a foul back. No balls, 2 strikes on Martinez. Victor on the road trip was at 389. He had 11 hits as his month of July continues to sparkle. And 1 homer, 5 RBIs. That is hit in the air. Routine depth center field. And John Mayberry's there. 1 gone.
I was talking to some Philly people about Hamels today and was wondering how in the world could a guy with this kind of skill set have 12 losses already. And they said, well, 1, he hasn't pitched all that well. 2, there's been some games this year where he has pitched well, have not gotten run support. But there's also been some games where he's been given a lot of run support. And in those games, he's given up quite a few runs. So when you add it all up, that's a lethal mix for 12 losses.
It's a ball outside to Johnny Peralta.
Only Joe Blanton of the Los Angeles Angels has lost more games than Hamels. 13.
Blanton having a really rough season. Now the lefty's 1-0. Drilled toward the gap in left center field. That ball is going to get down and roll all the way to the wall. Johnny Peralta has extra bases. He will pull into second, and he has a 1-out double.
And for whatever reason, Hamels has come out in the first couple of innings of this contest with a lot of fastballs, and most of them are anywhere from 90 to 92. And the Tigers have a really good fastball hitting team. And Johnny Peralta takes a 92-mile-per-hour heater and hits one right back up the gap in the left center field for a stand-up double.
Second double of the ball game for the Tigers. We'll bring up Hernan Perez. Tigers continue to swing aggressively early in the count against Hamels. .250 batting average so far in 9 games for Perez since his call up. Foul that one back out of play.
And one thing the Tigers do know about Hamels, and one of the reasons why they are swinging so early in counts, is they don't want to hit that changeup. He's got a legitimate swing and miss changeup that fades down and away to the right-handers, and he's not afraid to throw that pitch to the left-handed hitters.
One ball, one strike. Jim Leland talking about Perez today says that it's starting to look like Hernan is catching up with the speed of the game at this level. He was called up from Double-A. Made a brief appearance in the big leagues just a couple of games last year. Here's the 1-1. Bouncing ball left side, base hit. Peralta started back to second, but now he'll get to third, and Hernan Perez with a single. First and third, one out.
Hamels throws the ball and gets the ground ball, but Perez finds a seam on the left side of the infield right between Rollins and Michael Young, the third baseman.
Third Tigers hit of this game. Now we'll see if the bottom of the lineup can produce a run here. Santiago will stand in. One out double by Peralta. He's standing at third. Ramon batting just 161. Missed outside 1-0.
Here we are, the 26th of July, and I can't remember one squeeze play put on by Jim Leland this year.
You calling one here?
No, I'm not calling it here.
Oh, okay.
I'm not calling it. But I do not remember one time he's put on a squeeze play this year.
I don't either. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss.
Santiago definitely is a squeeze candidate when you bat in a bucket some change.
Sure, no question.
161.
You know, Jim has always said that he's not a big fan of squeezing, but he has done it.
If this was the 7th inning, maybe 8th inning, maybe he'd think about it.
1 ball, 1 strike. Young and tight at third base. And he popped it up back toward the seats and out of play. Well, Ramon certainly has struggled this year with the bat. He just never has been able to get it going. His playing time has been extremely spotty because of the strength of the starters up the middle.
I think that has something to do with it, although Santiago would not make that excuse. It's tough to play once a week and be as sharp as you can be.
Trying to get a run in from third down with less than 2 outs. Here's the 1-2. Checked it low. They want the appeal. He didn't go. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hamels last year won 17 games. He's got a chance this year to lose 17.
He was an all-star too. There have not been a lot of things go right for the Philadelphia Phillies this year.
Outside, and Santiago laid off.
Now a decision to be made here with Perez over at first base. Do you dare allow him to run with Santiago in the batter's box? Of course, you would hope if you do turn Perez loose that Santiago can at least put the ball in play.
Jim's got him started. There is strike 3. Throw down to second. Now they got the runner caught in a rundown. Here comes Peralta to the plate, and he'll be out. So it did backfire by starting the runner, and the Tigers waste a first and third opportunity and fail to score. You're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Tonight, presented by Del Tire.
Santiago struck out. Perez was going to be out at second, so he stops. And he does what he wants to do here. He gets Utley chasing him back toward first base. You get him running aggressively. That's when the guy on third takes off. But a heads up, Utley able to readjust the body and make a strong throw to Ruiz to get the out at home.
So in the meantime, we go to the third now in a scoreless ball game. Good opportunity for the Tigers. Goes by the wayside. John Mayberry steps in. It'll be Mayberry followed by Nix and then Ruiz, the bottom three. So far so good for Pfister. He's retired 6 straight to start this one. And Mayberry takes the ball outside. 2-0 the count.
And very seldom do we see Jim overshift with his infielders. But if there was ever a guy that you would overshift on, it will be John Mayberry Jr. Only 2 knocks the opposite way. Of all the hits he's gotten this year, that's a dead pull hitter.
That is the ultimate definition of a pull. 2 hits at this point in the season the other way. That's it. 2 balls, 1 strike to count.
He's got some talent. His father played in the big leagues for a number of years with a number of different teams. Probably made his calling in Kansas City, playing first base for the Royals when the Royals were a really good team.
And a native Detroiter, John Mayberry, senior, went to Northwestern High School. 2-1 the count. Check swing roller towards second, bobbled there by Perez, and he's going to be tardy with the throw. Yeah, it'll be an error. Time for a game break. Let's check in now with Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks very much. Here it is scoreless, however. Tigers have just committed an error. On a routine play, Perez bobbled it. Now Lance Nix will step in. That is a first base runner of the night for the Phils. And Nix pops it in the air. Shallow left. Long run for Tuiasa Sopo, but he will get there. Both sides, Rod, just swinging early in the count.
They got dinner reservations or something? Are they getting a dinner somewhere and they didn't invite us?
I didn't get the invitation. But Charlie Manuel probably wondering the same thing. There have been a lot of quick outs in this game. 1-on-1 out here is Ruiz, the number 9 hitter, the catcher.
Mayberry Jr. has a little bit of speed over at first base. He's stolen 5. He's been caught 3 times. And so Pfister needs to make sure he just keeps an eye on him, make sure he keeps his double play in order, because he throws so many ground balls.
Ruiz at 252 is just 2 for his last 16 at bats. He was on the disabled list earlier this year with a hamstring problem. And Doug missing low and outside. 2-0.
A lot of guys missing time this year with the hamstring injury.
Yeah, no doubt. And for Ruiz, he was on the DL May and into June. Favorable count here, 2-0 with Mayberry at first base. And it's rolled foul. 2 balls, 1 strike. When you have juniors on the field, I never know how to address them. If you include the junior or not. The game notes say junior. John Mayberry down at first base. And he draws a throw, and it gets away from Prince. But Mayberry is on the ground, so he will not advance. And he may have hurt himself.
Got hit, I believe.
Did it?
Yeah, the ball hit him somewhere.
Low back.
Yep. Juan Samuel, first base coach for the Philadelphia Phillies. And he was the Tigers coach for a number of years, and an outstanding coach and a better individual, Juan Samuel.
And they have a Hall of Famer in their box at third, Ryan Sandberg. There goes the runner, and it's rolled foul.
It's a wise decision by Charlie Manuel to start the runner. He knows the book on Doug Pfister. About 70% of Doug Pfister's outs this season have been via the ground ball. A lot of rumors circulating in Philadelphia. Charlie Manuel's on the last year of his contract that whenever he decides to shut it down, or whenever he is not the manager of the Phillies, Ryan Sandberg will take over those duties.
Yeah, Rhino has managed in the minor leagues. That shot to right field, base hit. Mayberry on his way to second. He will stop there, and the Phillies have their first hit of the game. Two on now with one out.
Sorry about that. That's a nice approach right there by Ruiz. When you have a guy that has that real good sinker like Doug Fister has, you want to stay inside the ball when that ball's chasing you in on your hands and make sure you create a bat angle, which would allow you to hit the ball the other way. Nicely done by Ruiz.
So that'll bring up the top of the order now. Michael Young, who in his days with Texas just about every season seemed to be good for 200 hits or more. And he looks at a strike 0-1.
He grounded out the third his first time up, but that's not Michael Young. Michael Young has gotten a boatload of hits by hitting the ball the other way. Lots of hits to right field. Here and Derek Jeter for a decade or so have been two right-handers with that classic inside-out swing.
Big rip there, 0-2. Well, he also, because of his days in Texas, played here in Detroit quite a bit as a Ranger, and he has a .330 lifetime average here at Comerica Park.
He had a nice career. He has had a very good career.
The 0-2. Wouldn't chase it. Breaking ball bends away. 1-2 on Michael Young, who is now 0 for his last 12. There are the career numbers at Comerica. He's hit 4 home runs in this ballpark. 6 different seasons Young had 200 or more hits in a Rangers uniform. Bouncing ball again, pulled, and this time it's through, a base hit. Mayberry rounding third. They send him home. Here comes the throw from Tuiasa Sopo, not in time. It's an RBI single for Michael Young, and the Phillies have a 1-0 lead. An error and 2 hits.
Sinker ball down and in. Michael Young pulls it right past Santiago with 2 strikes. And Ryan Sandberg, because Mayberry Jr. has a little bit of speed, and didn't hesitate sending him home on Tuiasa Sopo.
So the Phillies have a run on 2 hits, and here comes Kevin Franson. Popped up his first time, and he takes strike 1. No balls, 2 strikes on Franson, who is playing first base in this game tonight. He's also played third and second for the Phillies. Spent 4 years with San Francisco, also some time with the Angels. He's behind 0-2. Swing and a miss, and Fister comes up with his first strikeout of the ball game.
And Doug gets lots of swings and misses on his fastball, and a lot of those fastballs that he does get the swings and misses on, they're out of the strike zone. But because he has so much movement on that heater, a lot of hitters can't lay off of it.
Of course, Doug's biggest day as a strikeout artist earlier this year, 12 punch-outs in Pittsburgh. There's a strike called on Jimmy Rollins. 0 for 1 for Rollins, a former MVP in the National League back in 2007 for the Phillies. And that may have been the year more than any other year that really showcased how dynamic of a player Rollins is. He hit 30 homers that year, 20 triples, and stole 41. MVP credentials without question. He pulls that one foul down the first base line.
Talking about Doug Fister and the amount of swings and misses he gets on his fastball. Here's our high-speed Charter Internet stat of the evening. 32% swings and misses does he get on his fastball that are out of the strike zone, which is the best in the American League, which gives you an idea of the movement he has on his cutter and also his swing back fastball.
It's amazing what they have stats for these days.
You know it. Everything.
Swings and misses on fastballs out of the strike zone. 2-2. Jimmy Rollins, 1-0. Phils had the lead here in the third. Checked it, and he went. Strike three is being called. Rollins can't believe it. He simply drops his bat at home plate, and Phillies settle for 1 run. Time now for the Bernstein advantage. It brings you the scouting report on the Phils. Get the Bernstein advantage. We go to bat for you. And we'll talk about this, Rod. There's a whole lot of talent sitting on the DL right now.
Yeah, Ben Revere. And they got him from the Minnesota Twins last year. He was starting to perform very well in center field. Dominic Brown was an all-star this year. I was looking forward to watching him. Ryan Howard, they call him the big piece. 11 homers, 43 runs driven, and he's not pitching. And Roy Halladay. He's had a couple bad years, and now he's injured, Roy Halladay.
So both sides right now without some of their major offensive performers. Here is Alex Avila, who leads it off for Detroit. Cole Hamels back to the hill, throws a strike, 0-1.
And not getting any better for Charlie Manuel. We just got word that Cliff Lee is not going to start against the Tigers tomorrow. Stiff neck is what they're calling it.
Really? 10-game winner, Cliff Lee. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Avila.
There's that changeup that Hamill is not afraid to throw to a left-handed batter. Tom Glavine, who pitched and won 300 games for the Atlanta Braves, said it wasn't until he started throwing his changeups to left-handed hitters that his career started to blossom.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Nope, he fouled it off. Raul Valdez, by the way, a lefty, will throw tomorrow instead of Cliff Lee. 0-2 on Avila. Charlie Manuel's team coming in with a record of 49-53, 8 games back in the East. Atlanta currently leading in the National League East. Washington 8 games back as well. Again, the 0-2 high and away. 1-2 on Avila. Jackson and then Dirks to follow. Well, we knew Atlanta had a pretty good team. We saw them earlier this year, but the surprise for me there is Washington.
You know, Atlanta really hasn't been playing that well lately. They got off to a hot start, but they really have not performed all that well. But the other teams have been so poor that they can't catch them.
The Tim Hudson injury will hurt them.
They'll go out and make a move. Frank Wren, their general manager, has always been a very busy general manager. He's the Atlanta Braves president and GM.
Charlie Manuel, the all-time winningest coach in Phillies history.
Great man.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Great man.
Charlie can tell a story, too.
With the best of them.
1-2. Swing and a miss, and finally Avila goes down. on a pitch that appeared to be out of the strike zone. One out, and Dancing with the All-Stars is coming to Joe Louis Arena on Thursday, August 1st, benefiting Jack's Place for Autism. For tickets, call 248-443-7427. And our own Shannon Hogan will be participating this year. He's already been practicing. That's fouled back out of play by Jackson.
She's taking it serious.
She takes everything seriously. AJ had a double, albeit a bloop double, back in the first inning, which has extended his hitting streak to 6 consecutive games. The 0-1. 0-2 now on Jackson.
And the one thing that Austin's going to have to guard against here, as a lot of teams have seen him play the last couple of weeks, he's been unable to lay off that fastball up in the strike zone. And because of that, he struck out quite a bit in the month of July.
Fouled away.
He did not get it up as high as Ruiz wanted it up, but that's what Jackson did, a few years ago when he had a lot of strikeouts. He couldn't lay off the fastball that was up in the zone, but last year made a real nice adjustment, made the pitchers get the ball in the strike zone. He's been real good this year up until the month of July.
Is there any particular reason a hitter might start chasing fastballs up?
Well, you start to feel good. And Jackson was feeling really good when he came off the disabled list, and you think you're Superman. You think you can hit everything. But that one fastball up is the one that he has issues with. He just needs to make the opposing pitchers get back down in the zone again.
Hamels now with the 0-2. Got him, strike 3. AJ knew it. Cole Hamels has 3 consecutive strikeouts now.
Well, we told you that Hamels has 12 losses already. But don't get it totally twisted. This guy is a good pitcher. He's got 3 well above average pitches. That would be one of them. His fastball, he moves it around. The four-seamer, he'll come inside, he'll cut it. And that changeup is a great pitch for Hamels. It's been a good pitch for him since he's come to the big leagues.
Here's Andy Dirks. Andy came in batting 196 against left-handed pitching this year. He was a late addition to the lineup when Torrey Hunter could not go. Hunter is nursing that sore Achilles.
When I saw Torrey Hunter get off the plane last night, I knew it was going to be difficult for him to play today, although he said he was going to play and he wanted to play. I think that it's a wise decision to give him a little bit of a blow here.
He was originally in the starting lineup tonight for the Tigers. And when you consider that they are facing a lefty tonight.
Here's what happened yesterday. Check swing, and apparently something happened in that Achilles. He waved the trainer off. He went on to finish his at bat. He slowed down once he got to first base. And then Kevin Rand went over to check on him while he was sitting down, and they decided, you know what, we're going to take you out of this game, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Andy Dirks, who popped up to the catcher his first time up. And again the 2-2, and it's rolled toward first base. Backhanded play by Franson. He'll flip to the pitcher covering, and a nice play by Hamilton, barehanded.
Ball that went over the Tigers' dugout into the stands. Somebody threw a glove up there. Mickey threw his glove, had to get the glove back, and he said, "You give me the glove back, I will give you a baseball." And she got a baseball.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have the glove. Should have held out for more than just the baseball.
She's smiling anyway.
Here is Chase Utley to start things off here in the fourth. Phillies have a 1-0 lead in this game. And Doug Fister back to work. RBI single by Michael Young back in the third is the difference in this one. Utley is 0 for 1. Bounced out his first time up. And the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And Utley has been able to stay on the field for the most part this year, which is something he hasn't been able to do the last couple of years. Lots of injuries for Utley. When he's healthy, he's a good player.
Had an oblique injury this year, which kept him out for about 4 weeks, but his numbers much more healthy this year because he's been on the field more than last year, certainly. 11th season, batting .287 lifetime, and he packed some punch.
212 home runs.
Here's the 2-1. Way out in front.
Good changeup there out of the hand of Fister. Looks just like his curveball coming out of his hand, and you're looking for the curveball in, and that changeup fades away.
That one got the home plate umpire Eric Cooper. Vila, for a change, is checking on someone else. Two balls, 2 strikes. Utley Young and rough here in the 4th inning for the Phils. Game 1 in this 3-game series here this weekend. And the 2-2. That floats just a little bit outside. Tigers have used over the years spring training to vault themselves in the standings a little bit. They've been really good in interleague play, especially since Jim Leland took over. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Right back up the middle. Slow roller. Peralta hadn't played perfectly. And 1 out. Hey, by the way, you can vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game tonight, presented by the new Detroit Tigers M&M McFlurry, only at McDonald's. Using your cell phone, text Tigers followed by a space, then the player's uniform number 37338, or vote online at foxsportsdetroit.com. Now Delman Young. Breaking ball strike, 0-1 on Delman.
And Delman's been on fire, hitting .343 in his last 26 games for the Fighting Phils.
Behind the count, 0-2.
If Ruben Amaro Jr., their general manager, is considering trading people, I'm sure there might be some out there that would look at Delman Young's postseason numbers the last few years with the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins and may entertain the thought of making a deal for DY. He's been a really good performer in the postseason.
On the biggest stage with the Tigers, at least 8 home runs in the postseason the last 2 years. Here's the 0-2. Young, as a Tiger last year, hit .267, but he hit 18 homers, knocked in 74.
He's always been a nice run producer, whether it be in Minnesota, Philly, or with the Tigers.
Fly ball center field. That'll be routine for Jackson. 2 gone. Fisker now has retired 4 straight since the RBI single by Michael Young. Now Darren Ruff. 1 run, 2 hits for the Phillies in this game. No run, 3 hits for the Tigers, who wasted an opportunity back in the 2nd. They had runners at 1st and 3rd, 1 out, but failed to score.
Darren Ruff's got a little pop in that bat. Has 25 career big league hits. 12 of those are for extra bases, so nearly half of his major league hits have gone for extra bases.
Well, look no further than his minor league numbers. 38 homers, 104 RBIs in Reading last year. Ball outside, 1-1.
Got that wide open stance, looking for the fastball inside, cheating with that front hit.
2-1 the count. Missed inside. 3-1 now on Darren Ruff.
Pfister thought that that was a strike. Long look in for the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper.
John Mayberry waiting on deck. Big swing there by Ruff. 3-2.
He has thrown him 3 straight curveballs. If he throws him another one, he needs to locate it. But if he does decide to throw a fastball, he may get a called strike.
Right back up the middle and into center field. Base hit. 2-out single for Ruff. Now John Mayberry steps in. It was his ground ball that appeared to be routine back in the third, but it was misplayed by Perez, and that kind of opened the door a little bit. They eventually scored the run. An unearned run against Pfister.
John Mayberry Jr. was a pretty good player coming out of high school and would have been drafted, but he had a scholarship to go to Stanford. And it's very difficult for some major league teams to outbid Stanford. He went on to get his degree from Stanford in political science in 2006.
Well, I was reading that he was actually drafted by Seattle in the first round and went to college instead.
So they knew he was going to sign. I mean, the gist of it was they knew he was going to school. They gambled on him, I guess.
First round, 28th overall in 2002.
And most guys would go on to sign there.
No question. There's a strike called on Mayberry. 1 ball, 1 strike.
But his parents wanted him to get a degree, and he went to one of the best colleges in the country.
We're in the fourth. 1-0 Phils. We've got a man on with 2 out. Missed it outside. 2-1. $60 now for Doug. He had a 7-pitch second, his quickest inning of the night. And the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Ooh, and a foul actually, and nope, there goes Avila.
Oh, now Cooper will be checking on him. Well, you don't see Jim and Kevin get up that quickly and start to come out of the dugout. Thanks for that correction on Mayberry. I knew there was something that was about his draft status when he was in high school.
Well, but the point you bring up is we look at that foul ball on Avila. Ugh. Oh, it's the backswing. That's what happened. The point you bring up is how many kids actually turn down going pro when you're selected in the first round. Not many, but he had an opportunity to go to Stanford.
Well, you know, he turned down $1 million. That's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it worked out well for him. Got his degree, and now he's still playing in the major leagues.
Now that's obviously the best of both worlds. His dad could hit some out, couldn't he? Big John Mayberry.
Strong.
2-2. Avila has regained his senses, apparently. He's good to go. Swing and a miss. Mayberry out in front, and Pfister strikes him out. No runs and a hit. 1 man left.
very costly error by Hernan Perez, who has been really good at second base. That was off the bat of John Mayberry Jr. Ruiz follows with a single, and eventually Michael Young, the Tiger killer, gets a base hit through the left side of the infield, which plates a junior.
Our Comerica Bank game summary from Comerica Park. The Tigers and the Phillies are headed to the bottom of the fourth here. Tuiao Sosopo leads it off. And it's in for a strike, 0-1. Matt bounced out his first time up. And the average now at 299. Cole Hamels got the Tigers 1-2-3 in the third. Here's the 0-1. Quickly 0-2. Now the 0-2 pitch. Bouncing ball again towards second. Backhanded play by Utley. And Tuiao Sosopo is out, one gone. Another ground ball out there for Cole Hamels. And now Prince Fielder. 266 for Prince. He is 0 for 1. He had a ball that was turned in by a nice play down at first base by Kevin Franson, with the pitcher covering Hamels back in the first inning. They got Prince. And he takes ball one. Fielder, pretty good numbers against Hamels over the years. 8 for 26, couple of homers, 308 batting average. And that misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. Hamels, a 3-time National League All-Star. It's been really durable for them as well. Over 200 innings for the last 5 seasons. 2-1 the count. Now the 2-1 pitch. Three and one. Waiting on deck, Victor Martinez. Here's the 3-1 offering. Ground ball again to first base. This time it's going to go foul. 3-2 on the Prince. The Phillies had visions of really an unbelievable rotation when Halladay was working well, and before he was injured, of course, Cliff Lee and Cole Hamels. 3 rock solid starters in their rotation.
Never materialized, did it?
No, it really didn't. There's a high towering fly ball down the right field line, headed toward the corner, and that ball is into the seats and caught. Oh, a catch by Nix. Into the seats to pluck it away.
Nice job by Nix getting over there. Now, that ball stayed up a long time, which allowed Nix to get over there and to time his jump perfectly, which he did, reaching into about the second row and making a grab.
Oh, if that guy in the Tiger shirt just would have gotten a hand on it.
I know, right?
Right there.
He whiffed on it. He might have to be part of our head and shoulders whiff of the game tonight.
He did whiff on it, didn't he? Meanwhile, Prince is out. Still a fine play by Nix. Ball low, 1-0 on Victor Martinez, who flied out to Nix. His only at bat. Popped up foul, back out of play. We're talking about the credentials of Cole Hamels. 17 wins last season and a career high 216 strikeouts. Both of those numbers were career highs. But this year, 12 losses coming in. So far, he has scattered just 3 hits to the Tigers. There's the 1-1. Missing no, it's a strike, 1 and 2, and Victor doesn't like it.
The 12 losses already a career high in the season for Hamels.
Here's the 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Johnny Peralta waiting on deck. Pulled to third. Nice play there on the backhand by Young. His throw is scooped at first base by Franson. Nice play all the way around. Phillies playing some defense in this inning, including this play by Lance Nix into the seats. Taste of Arby's Mighty Minis today. Arby's, slicing up freshness. And by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Back here at the ballpark. Tigers and Phillies getting together here as we go to the 5th inning. 1-0 in favor of the Phils. RBI single by Michael Young remains the only run in this game. Lance Nix, Carlos Ruiz, and Michael Young to bat here against Doug Fister. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes on Lance Nix. He flied out his first time up. And Nix now 1 for his last 13 at bats. Here's the 2-0, and it's in there, 2-1. Lance has been well traveled. He's played with Texas, Milwaukee, Cincy, Washington, and the Phillies. Pop that one up. Let's see if it gets back toward the dugout, and Avila can't quite get there. It's into the Tiger dugout. Two balls, 2 strikes. Fister making his first ever start here against the Phillies tonight. Got him. Strike 3. Floats in a breaking ball, and 1 gone here in the 5th.
Last couple of starts, that Fister curveball has been a tremendous pitch. He really hasn't had it working effectively for him all season. But the last few starts, he's found a real nice arm slot with that bender, and he's been able to throw it for strikes.
There's Carlos Ruiz. Fister gave up just 1 run in 6 innings of work against Kansas City on the road trip. And Ruiz looks at a ball outside. One ball, one strike. Tigers won 4 of the 7 on the recent road trip, even though they hit just 250 on the trip. Here's the 1-1. Ball inside. 2 balls, 1 strike on Carlos Ruiz. Two and two. Chopper back up the middle. Peralta ranging left. And Ruiz is out. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th inning. We'll bring up Michael Young, who to this point has provided the game's only run. It was an RBI single with 1 out in the 3rd. And an unearned run against the right-hander Fister. Young batting .279 now. Ball 1 inside. Young spent 13 seasons in Texas before he came to the Phillies in a December trade. There's a strike.
Michael Young was one of the best hitters in the franchise of the Texas Rangers.
Young was a minor league infielder, was the second baseman in the Blue Jays organization when the Rangers made a trade for him. And once Michael Young got to the big leagues, he was just racking up 200 hit seasons seemingly every year. Bouncer right back to the mound. Fister knocks it down. And that is that. It's a 1-2-3 inning here in the 5th. And you're watching Tigers baseball tonight, presented by Bell Tire. Now for the AT&T trivia question. Who was the last player to win the LCS and the World Series MVP in the same postseason? The last player to win both the LCS and the World Series MVP award, same postseason. Cole Hamels goes back to the hill. He could be a candidate for that. Had a really good postseason in 08 when the Phillies beat the Tampa Bay Rays.
That he did.
But that would be too easy, wouldn't it? 0-1 on Johnny Peralta. Peralta, Perez, Santiago here in the bottom of the 5th. 1 run, 3 hits for the Phillies. No runs, 3 hits for Detroit. Johnny shoots one foul down the right field line, 0-2.
There's a lot of teams that have been watching the Tigers lately, and they all understand and they know for a fact that they love to swing at first pitches. That has not deterred Hamels from throwing lots of first pitch strikes. He's 11 of 15. He is still attacking these Tigers hitters.
Now the 0-2. Ball high.
Kind of like what Ruiz is doing behind the plate as well, moving that glove around, going up with the fastballs, down and away with the changeups, going in with the fastball as well.
Driven to center field, hit pretty well. Mayberry going back, and he'll run it down right in front of the warning track.
That's a homer in Philadelphia, and Mayberry knows that. You don't have a whole lot of room in that Phillies outfield.
Hey, you can join us again tomorrow. The Tigers take on these Phillies. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. with Tigers Live. The Tigers and Phils tomorrow at 6 right here on Fox Sports Detroit. And you will be treated to Max Scherzer. Will be on the hill for the Tigers. He was supposed to face Cliff Lee, but Lee has been scratched.
Yeah, it would have been a must-see TV. Well, it is still must-see TV with Maxwell on the mound, but it would have been nice to see Cliff Lee as well.
Max at 14-1. He'll gun for his 15th win tomorrow.
Who is taking a back seat to nobody. I mean, absolutely no one in the big leagues this year.
Here is Perez. Ball outside, 2-0 on Hernan Perez. Single back in the second. Tigers had runners at first and third, one out. But on a 3-2 pitch, Santiago struck out. They started the runner. It ended up being a double play to end the inning.
That's Cole Hamels right there at his best. If you're the youngster Hernan, you've got yourself in a 2-0 friendly fastball count, and you get a changeup. That's called a strike from Hamels.
3-1. Hamels has made the All-Star team 3 times over in the National League. Yet the Phillies this year are just 6-15 in his starts. Yanked foul right by Tommy Brookins. Had to do the 2-step out of the way. 3-2. And he walked him. So Perez on for the second time. 1 on, 1 out. Well, we are waiting the return of Omar Infante, but he left the game in the 4th inning last night at West Michigan. He is still being bothered by soreness in that left ankle.
I don't think Omar is very close to returning anytime soon.
Ankles are such a tricky injury in terms of how long they can take.
Tigers are playing awfully short-handed here tonight with Miggy more than likely not available. Hunter not available. And they are playing with a 23-man roster this evening.
Santiago rips one fair down the third base line. Perez on his way to third. They're going to stop him there, and Santiago has a double.
Cole Hamels has thrown a lot of fastballs inside to the right-handed batters here today. This one, he doesn't get in there far enough. At 89, Santiago able to turn it around. Hernan Perez running from first base has good speed, but a nice job by Ruff in the outfield to get there and prevent Hernan from scoring. Tommy Brookins had to hold him up. Nice job. You see Brookins coming down that line as far as he can to make sure he gets a really good look at what's going on in left field, if there's any mishandles or not. He would have been able to send Perez home.
Avila cuts and misses 0-1. That is the 4th Tigers hit of the game. They have runners at second and third now, 1 out. Alex struck out back in the third. And the Tigers perhaps a base hit away from taking their first lead of this game. Strike called, 0-2. Doug Fister so far has allowed just one unearned run in this game. Tigers at the very least here trying to tie it up. And the 0-2 in the air. Center field, left center field. Ball is hit well. It's down. It'll get 2 runs in. Avila is on his way to second, and it's a 2-run double on an 0-2 pitch. And the Tigers grab their first lead of the night.
Hamels is able to get ahead of Avila on a couple of well-located fastballs. Then he decides to come back with a breaking ball. And then he hung up in the strike zone, and Avila went left center and drove in 2 runs, 2 big runs.
Five Tigers hits now. They lead 2-1. And Avila has 26 RBIs. Austin Jackson, the batter. Jackson in the ball game, a double and a strikeout. Big swing there, 1 ball, 1 strike. Avila delivering the big hit here, an 0-2 double to left center field out of the reach of John Mayberry Jr. and that scored a couple of runs. Now the 1-1. Swing and a foul tip at home plate by Jackson. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jackson had a blue double back in the first inning. Dirks waiting in the on deck circle. Ground ball, third base side. Young gobbles it up there. Jackson is out. Runner will hold, 2 away. So we'll take a 2-out hit now from Dirks to get that 3rd run in. Ball 1. Not a good stretch for the Tigers to be facing left-handed pitching when you consider that Cabrera is out, Hunter is out, Infante is out. All big parts of the offense and all right-handed batters.
Yeah, there's been no hitter in baseball better against left-handed pitching this year than Miggy.
Wave and a miss, 1-1.
He is over 400. And then Torrey Hunter is batting over 300 against left-handers. So Hamels is catching them at the right time.
Jim made a late addition of Santiago in the lineup to get another right-handed bat in there, and he had himself a double. There's a ball low, 2 balls, 1 strike. Santiago 2-base hit after the Perez walk, and then Avila doubles in 2. Two and 2 on Andy Dirks.
Even though the Tigers don't have a couple of their big guns, they still have a pretty good offense with Jackson, Victor, Prince, Peralta, Tuiasosopo's had a good year. They still have some weapons.
And the 2-2 just off the plate. 3 and 2 on Dirks.
And if they get a quality start out of Doug Fister, which he's done quite often this year, legitimate shot at winning this contest.
Andy in this one 0 for 2, pop-up ground out. Here's the 3-2. Bouncing ball to third. Behind the bag, Young. And Dirks is safe. Avila will take third base, and the inning is still alive.
Not often you see a routine ground ball down to third base that's not executed in the big leagues, but Michael Young doesn't execute this one. And ball down toward third base. He waits for the ball to get there, didn't charge it. By the time he got there and got in front of it, Andy Dirks able to cross that bag. If Michael Young could do it all over again, he probably would backhand that ball and simply fire it over to first that way. For you kids at home, you see where Andy Dirks hit that bag? You hit the front part of the bag. That helped him get that safe call from Paul Schreiber, the first base umpire.
And now PHI Sopo, and he looks at ball one. That is the 6th Tigers hit an infield single. Matt has grounded out twice, and both times to the second baseman Utley. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Hamels now has thrown 78 pitches in this game. He has relinquished the lead on the 2-run double by Avila. And the 2-0.
Matt looked a little indecisive there. It's a 2-0 fastball at 91, and he usually takes a better swing at fastballs when he's got himself in that type of count, but wasn't very aggressive on that offering out of the hand of Hamels.
Now 3-1. Fielder waiting on deck. Seventh man at bat in the inning, and an even 80 now thrown by Hamels. And he walked him. That will load him up for Prince Fielder. Rich Doobie, the pitching coach. Out to have a chat with Cole Hamels here, with Fielder due up and the bases jammed.
Yeah, what Rich Doobie will be reminding Hamels of here is the fact that Prince Fielder loves to swing at first pitches, so be very careful on the first strike you throw him.
Hey, just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game. It's brought to you by Miller Lite. Who knows, this could be your Miller moment right here. You've got Fielder standing in against Hamels. Bases are loaded. Tigers have taken a 2-1 lead. And one of those watershed moments in a ball game. We'll see if Hamels or Fielder wins this battle. Bases loaded, 302 career for Prince. Pretty good this year, 353. In there, strike one. Fielder in the ball game is 0 for 2. Right now he's got Avila, Dirks, and PHI Sopo on the bases. Fouled off. No balls, 2 strikes on Fielder. Fielder right now is sitting 4th in the American League in the RBI category with 74.
And so many times today, Ruiz has called for the elevated fastball with 2 strikes. And we'll see what he calls for here.
High fly ball, center field. Should get him out of the inning. Mayberry is under it, and that is that for Detroit. However, they get a couple of runs in the inning to take the lead. Alex Avila goes the other way. 2-run double. 2-1 Detroit. Let's see how your favorite players prepare for a game. And it's in the batting cage. That's the Batting Cam show tomorrow at 4:30 on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. It's a unique view of batting practice here at the ballpark to see how guys prepare for tomorrow night's game. Something a little bit different on Fox Sports Detroit Plus. So make your plans to tune into that as you get ready for Tigers baseball tomorrow night. Kevin Franson leads it off. Doug Fister has his first lead of the evening. And a bouncing ball to third, gobbled up there by Santiago. One pitch, one out.
Speaking of batting practice, Miguel Cabrera took a few swings today for the first time since leaving that game in Chicago. And I was standing around the cage today, and not only did he hit in one group, but he hit in two groups. So that's a pretty good sign. Not swinging aggressively, but just to see him on the field leads me to believe that he's pretty close to coming back.
That would be a good thing for the Tigers, as they are shorthanded right now with both Cabrera.
And for that batting practice Cam show tomorrow, there would be no better teacher than Miggy.
Jimmy Rollins, the batter. Rollins 0 for 2, ground out, strikeout. Trying to get something started here with one out in the sixth. Fister tonight has given up just 3 runs, or 3 hits, I should say. The 1 run that he allowed was unearned back in the third. And the 0-2 got him. Strike 3 called. Rollins strikes out for the second time tonight.
Fister's fastball very seldom gets above 91 miles an hour, but when he does throw the fastball and then backs it up with good changeups, he gets a lot of guys looking in that zone. Tremendous movement on everything that Fister features.
Chase Utley. He's put the ball on the ground twice. 0 for 2. Ball 1. Utley has won 4 Silver Slugger awards over in the National League as the top hitting second baseman. Also been to 5 All-Star games.
Utley played his collegiate ball in the Pac-10 as well at the time at UCLA.
The 1-0 pitch. That's in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. So you got Mayberry at Stanford. And you've got Utley at UCLA. Here's the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Both real good sports schools and academic schools.
Pasadena, boy. That is a beautiful part of California. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Fister has struck out 5 and scattered just 3 hits. Waiting on deck, Delman Young. Should Utley keep it going? Now the 2-2. Grounded toward first, foul. Three times in his career, Utley has hit over 30 home runs in a season. He also gets hit quite a bit. In fact, he holds the Phillies' all-time record for hit by pitch. Got him, strike 3. Fister frozen. 6 strikeouts for Doug and a 1-2-3-6. You see what's happening in the American League Central Division. The Tigers Indians right now battling it out at the top of the division. Tigers have taken the lead on the Phillies. Cole Hamels back to the hill. Victor Martinez looks at a ball outside. Tigers got 2 in the 5th after the Phillies got a run in the 3rd. In fact, Martinez the only man not to bat in the 5th inning. Tigers left him loaded. Hamels wiggled out of a jam. The 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike on Victor. Fly ball and a ground out tonight for Martinez. Here's the 1-1. We're talking about schools. Hamels went to a high school that was known, or has been known, as the Factory in Southern California. It's Rancho Bernardo High School in the San Diego area. They've produced a lot of professional players, a few that have made it to the big leagues. The 1-2 inside, 2-2. Hamels, of course. Hank Blaylock, the former Texas Ranger, went to Rancho Bernardo. They've had a few #1 picks come out of that school. Good area, San Diego, for baseball.
Yeah, they had another school there too called Mount Carmel, where Eric Chavez went. Eric Munson both went there. Both #1 picks.
Where did Adam Jones go? Morse? Went to Morse High School.
He may have. Billy Bean, general manager of the Oakland Athletics, also went to Mount Carmel High School.
2-2 on Victor Martinez. Rolled foul. Back toward the Tiger dugout.
Victor has had quality at bat after quality at bat in the month of July. From both sides of the plate, that batting average up to 266. He was up to 270 in Chicago, and he had to come all the way from about 200 at the month of July. The beginning of July, I should say.
Here's the 2-2 again. Hard hit ground ball to Rollins. Knocks it down, but he has plenty of time. And Martinez out, 1 gone. Here's that AT&T trivia question again. Who was the last player to win the LCS and World Series MVP in the same postseason?
Happened last year, didn't it?
2 years ago. Cole Hamels did it in 08, but the last guy to do it was David Freese in 2011 with the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's Johnny Peralta. Ball 1 to Johnny. Double and a fly ball. Only 3 hits for Philadelphia in this game. The Tigers have 6. One ball, 1 strike. Johnny sits safely now in his last 4. Had a road trip in which he was able to contribute 8 hits for the Tigers. Although Johnny's been really good at home this year, 346 in this ballpark.
Peralta has been one of the best shortstops in the game of baseball on both sides of the ball this year. Making his second All-Star team, batting at .303 right now, nearly 50 runs driven in.
Swing and a miss. Hamels gets him this time. 2 gone. Well, you can see the Tigers tangled with the Kansas City Royals on Thursday, August 15th through Sunday, August 18th. If you'd like tickets, 866-66-TIGER. Or visit Tigers.com. And what we've seen out of the Tigers and Royals this year, typically a game that is decided by 1 or 2 runs tops. So it should be a good series here at the ballpark.
It's going to be a 5-game series.
Oh, a doubleheader?
Yeah, on that Friday.
There was a rain out, that's right. That's the deep left center field, playable though. And John Mayberry hauls it in. Tigers go 1-2-3. We are headed to the 7th.
Giving up 3 hits in this contest. He's got that fastball that's moving all over the place, and his curveball today has been dirty. It's a 12-6 curveball with that built-in advantage of his frame at 6 feet 8 inches. He is throwing straight downhill. That ball starts around your head, and as a hitter, you give up on it, as the Phillies have done today. And he's gotten several of the strikeouts via the call by the home plate umpire, Eric Cooper.
So Pfister goes back to work now as we head to the 7th inning. It'll be Delman Young leading it off for the Phils. Young been roughed than Mayberry. And Delman looks at a strike. 1-1 on Young. Pfister trying to win his 3rd straight start. 0 for 2 for Young. And he pulls this one to 3rd. Nice short hop there by Santiago. Nifty play.
Santiago's made a couple of nice plays already today. Ramon has always been known more for his glove than his bat.
Made a nice play back in the 1st inning, got a ground ball by Young, and he's filling in for Miguel Cabrera tonight.
What is game 4 now for Miggy?
Correct.
It's been a long time since he missed 4 games in a row.
It seems like 2 weeks without him in the lineup. Here's Ruff. Drives one to center field. Jackson moving back. 2 outs.
And here's both teams, as a matter of fact, flashing a little leather in this game. You had Ramon early in the game. Perez at second base, ranged into the outfield, made a nice play. Prince knocked one down. They've had some nice plays on their side as well. Their first baseman, Friends, have made a nice play. Prince hit that ball. Nix in right field also made a nice play. And their third baseman, Michael Young, also chipped in with a decent play himself.
Good defense all the way around tonight. And as a result, couple that with some good pitching, 2-1 is their score. There's a breaking ball that misses outside to John Mayberry. He reached on an error by Perez back in the 3rd, which allowed the Phils to get their only run. Here's the 1-0. Mayberry with a big cut. 1-1. John has played all of the outfield positions for the Phillies, right, center, left. He's also played some first base. Thought about it and decided to hold off. 2-1 on John Mayberry. pull down the left field line. He was out in front.
And Mayberry's got that long, wiry body. He's got those long arms and a long bat, and because of that, he has rung the bell of Avila a couple times today. Boom. Then he got him again later on as well. Second one was a little bit harder than the first one.
Kevin Rand had to come out to make sure that Avila was okay. Here's the 2-2. Ground ball to short. Johnny ranging left. Mayberry is out, and Fisker has a 1-2-3 7th. He's retired 10 in a row. By 5-hour energy shots. Nighttime settling in at the ballpark here. Another big crowd on hand in Comerica Park in downtown Detroit. Tigers have a 2-1 lead right now on the Phils. We look at our game summary. Michael Young hitting .330 career in this ballpark. Tigers have gotten it done at the bottom of their lineup, and Fisker has been really good tonight. So we go to the bottom of the 7th, and Cole Hamels still out there facing Santiago. Avila to follow, and then Jackson. Ball missing low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. These two starters have been so good tonight that neither bullpen has had to work up until now. The Tigers getting their pen loosening a bit. Here's the 1-1. Santiago takes inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Rondon and Smiley starting to heat up now for Detroit. Here's the 2-1 on the outer edge. Big 2-base hit by Santiago back in the 5th inning after the walk to Perez. Tiger bullpen getting ready.
That has been the late inning duo for Jim Leland until that ball gets to Benoit when they have a lead.
Kind of interesting how the season progresses and the ebbs and flows. I mean, there was a time early in the season where you probably wouldn't have thought that the late inning guys warming up in the 7th and 8th innings would be Rondon, Smiley. And there's a walk, and Santiago continues to contribute offensively tonight.
It's a great point based on the fact that one guy started the season in the minors and the other guy started the season as the long man in the Tigers bullpen.
Yeah, I mean, it's just worked out that way. And good for the Tigers. They've both been good. Phillies now getting some action in their bullpen.
If you're going to have a successful season, however, you have to have some guys step up in roles that you weren't really counting on guys stepping up in. And, of course, that would be 2 of them right now for the Tigers.
Here is Avila, who is 1 for 2 tonight. And he pulls that one foul. Schreiber had to get out of the way and make the call at the same time. And he did a pretty good job of it.
Alex Avila got himself a hanging breaking ball in 0-2 count from Hamels and hit it up into the left center field gap to drive in the only 2 runs of the evening for the Tigers.
Literally, that has been it for Detroit. They are trying to tack on to their lead now. They're up by 1 here in the 7th. Fouled away, no balls, 2 strikes. This was the count on Avila when he doubled back in the 5th inning.
Hamels will not hang him that breaking ball again.
There's activity now in the bullpen. Jake Diekman and Luis Garcia warming up for the Phillies. So both bullpens churning now. Fouled away again.
Hamels has gotten all the way up to 93 with his fastball today. It's Xfinity. And we thank you for the reading on that fastball. 74 with a breaking ball out of the hand of the talented left-hander.
And again, the 0-2 inside almost hit Avila. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, it's 2-1 here in the 7th, and this is not a surprise because these 2 teams have the most quality starts between them in the major leagues.
Must be the offense that's not good for Philadelphia then.
Well, the numbers at times don't jive. 63 quality starts for Phillies and 65 for Detroit as Avila swings and misses. 1 gone. Going to bring up Jackson. A mixed bag tonight for AJ. Had a double in his first at bat, a strikeout and a ground out as well. 1 for 3. Ball 1 high.
And we told you that Ajax has had a difficult time of laying off that fastball right where Hamels threw that last one, but a nice job there of laying off the elevated fastball.
Santiago led off the inning with a walk. He is still standing at first now with 1 out.
You can run on Hamels. There's been 23 attempted steals while he's been on the mound this year. 17 of those have been successful. He is slow to the plate. About 1-5.
Ooh, there goes the bat. Right in half of Austin Jackson. Look at that. You don't see that type of breakage very often.
That wood wasn't no good anyway.
Oh, apparently not.
Get rid of that.
1 ball, 1 strike.
In case you're wondering what a good time is for a pitcher to get the ball to his catcher, about 1-1, 1-2, 1-3 is max.
Swing and a miss. And on the flip side of that, Ruiz has thrown out 17% this year.
I don't know if Jim is entertaining the thought of allowing Santiago to take off, but they may get themselves a breaking ball, and you add in that high leg kick, Santiago will be able to steal that base successfully.
He is holding, and it's swung on and missed. A couple of strikeouts in this inning for Hamels. He's going to bring up Dirks. 5 strikeouts now for Cole Hamels. Dirks had an infield single in his last at bat, 1 for 3. Hamels now has thrown 111 pitches in this game. Lifted in the air, left field, straight and rough to end the inning. No runs, leadoff walk, 1 left. We go to the 8th. Game 1 of this Interleague Series goes to the top of the 8th inning here at the ballpark. Tigers on top by a 2-1 score. Doug Fister goes back to the mound. And here in the 8th inning, he will face Lance Nix to start things off.
Doug Fister's pitch count in pretty good shape through 7 innings. He's only thrown 96 total.
He's got Nix, Ruiz, then at the top of the lineup, Young. Swing and a miss. He has allowed just 3 hits in this ball game tonight.
Most pitches that Fister has thrown in the game this year, 116. He had 12 strikeouts that day against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Now the 1-1. Little roller toward first base, right at Prince. Fister will cover. 1 away here in the 8th. That will be 11 straight now set down by the Tigers righty. And Carlos Ruiz will stand in. Two of the 3 hits that the Phillies got came in the 3rd. There's a high fly ball left field. PHI AT waiting, and it finally nestles into his glove. 2 gone. Doug's on a roll now. $42,317 in attendance here tonight, and a great night for baseball here in the Motor City. Phillies in for 3 this weekend. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a strike. Michael Young batting with 2 outs. And now that's an even 100 for Mr. Fister. But outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. It was Young's RBI single in the 3rd that drove in their only run. Here's the 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And this rod, I think, clearly is the type of fister that really gives opponents fits. He's been on his game tonight.
Working all 4 quadrants of the strike zone with fastballs up, in and out, down the zone, inside, outside. Outstanding curveball this evening. Moving fastball. We told you after his last start that Doug really in his career, or at least the last couple of years, second half of the season after the All-Star break, has turned in some of his best work.
Oh, that one just missed. 2-2. Fister wanted it. Let's see.
As good a command as he's had today, I'm surprised Eric Cooper didn't give him that one.
Bouncing ball to third, foul ball. Here's what you're talking about.
Yeah, post All-Star break. Numbers on Fister, 17 and 5 with a 228. Look at the whip, under 1. 5 strikeouts, nearly 6 strikeouts to every walk.
Well, including tonight, 3 good starts after back-to-back 6-run starts. So he apparently has righted the ship. And the 2-2 missed inside, 3-2. Franson waiting on deck. 2-1 Detroit in the 8th. 2 out, nobody on for the Phils. And he walked him. 2 out base runner. Tying run is on now for the Phillies.
First free pass that Fister has given away today.
Gene Lamont gets on the phone. Rondon and Smiley have been warming and both should be ready to go. Here's Kevin Franson. It should be easy for Franson to walk into the dugout to the bat rack and find his helmet, because it's a mess. He tries to bunt and lays it foul. 0-1. A Tunnel Pine Tar on the bat, or the helmet I should say, for Franson.
That doesn't look healthy.
Well, he's not going to eat it. It's for his hands. Ugh. Ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's just an easy way, I guess, for players. You can answer this, Rod, just to reach up there and get some pine tar.
That's exactly what guys do. We saw him do it in this at bat.
Now the 1-1. Slow roller towards short. Johnny will charge. Nice scoop. Bandy throws it up.
Pick it, Johnny.
No runs, a walk, 1 left. Mr. Fister outstanding tonight, scattering just 3 hits. For tonight, and the fans here at Comerica Park gave him a nice little send-off last half inning. And tip of the cap. Doug did his job tonight and appears to be done for the evening. Fisker scattering 3 hits, 8 innings, and no earned runs. Meanwhile, the Tigers now will try and pad the lead here. Don Kelly will pinch hit for Tuiasa Sopo. He shoots that one foul back out of play. New pitcher on now for the Philadelphia Phillies. A wall-side windows pitching change. This is Luis Garcia.
And Garcia features just 2 pitches. That will be the fastball that will get up to 96 miles an hour. And he's got a slider that goes anywhere from 83 to 85 miles per hour on the radar gun.
0-2.
Hanging slider there that Don Kelly swung right underneath.
Garcia's given up 1 earned run in his last 20 2/3 innings. That is it.
Charlie Manuel and Rich Doobie, the pitching coach, have had to deal with a lot of injuries in that bullpen this year. By and large, a very young bullpen.
Charlie Manuel, who, by the way, is just 4 wins shy of 1,000. And the 1-2 bouncing in, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Charlie Manuel was a hitting coach on that 1988 Cleveland Indians squad. We've talked about 4 players that were on that Cleveland team that are big league managers now. Bud Black, Ron Washington, John Farrell. Drawing a blank on that 4th one. Who is it?
You're going to have to look it up.
No, I'll get it in a second.
Okay, we'll give you time. Ball high. 3-2. Name the ones you said already. You had
Farrell, Bud Black, Ron Washington,
and
Francona.
Oh, Francona, right.
Tito.
Right. 3-2. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. Well, when you look at the longest current tenured managers, there's Mr. Manuel since 2005. He's on that list along with Mr. Lee. Mike Socia since 2000 with the Angels. Stroke to the shortstop. Rollins, nice play, spinning on the grass.
Pretty much an automatic out when you hit the ball to J-Roll at shortstop. There has been only one big league shortstop that has a better fielding percentage than J-Roll. That would be Omar Vizquel.
Oh, he was good.
Rollins has been tremendous. Anybody that gets their name mentioned in the same breath at the shortstop position as Vizquel, you know they've had a great career.
Here's Fielder. Ball 1 to Prince. Hit the ball in the air twice tonight, and he's also grounded out 0 for 3. Prince taking. Now the count goes to 1-1. Well, the birthday boy warming up, Joaquin Benoit. Right now it's a 1-run game. Doug Fisker, 8 outstanding innings. Big swing there by Prince. 1-2. Waiting on deck, Victor Martinez. 2-2 the count. Joaquin turning 36 today. Pretty cool to pick up a save on your birthday.
That's right.
Joaquin's done a marvelous job since sliding into that closer's role. Fielder waiting on a 2-2 offering. Outside, 3-2. Tigers had a chance to bust it open in the fifth. They got their 2 runs, but then loaded the bases with 2 outs. But then Fielder fly to center field. That ended the inning. Tigers settled for 2. That's all the scoring we've had. Now Fielder gets himself a base on balls. One on and 1 out. Going to bring up Martinez. Tigers have gotten a lot of production out of the bottom of their lineup here tonight. You can see it right there in the Tigers box score. In fact, Avila has the 2 RBIs out of the 9 slot. Ball 1. Bring a visit out to the mound that appears from Ruiz, the catcher.
Their center fielder, and John Mayberry Jr. playing awfully shallow in center field. A lot of room behind him. And Victor has himself in a fastball friendly count, and should he get a hold of one, he has the kind of power that he can hit it over Mayberry's head in the center.
1-0 on Victor. Garcia was called up from their AAA team in Lehigh Valley on July the 9th. Started the year in AA. Ground ball, first base. Fielding there is Franson. Throws wide of the bag, but a great play by Rollins, who turns the double play. Inning over. We go to the 9th. Our score, the Tigers trying to hold on to this win, and you can see the Tigers play the Minnesota Twins August 20th through the 22nd and take advantage of the weekday value pack. 4 tickets, hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks for just $60. Call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Joaquin Benoit coming on. And it's a wall-side windows pitching change. He will try and record the save here.
And Joaquin Benoit in his last 20 outings, the ERA is under 1. Of those 9 saves that he has, 3 of those have come in games where the Tigers had a 1-run lead. So that's what they have right now.
Andy Dirks will play left now. The Tigers rearranging their outfield. Don Kelly stays in the game, and he will play right. So Benoit facing Jimmy Rollins to start things off. Here we go in the 9th. First pitch is in for a strike.
And Jim has Prince Fielder playing no doubles at first base. Nothing will get down that line. Also Don Kelly in right field playing really deep with the left-handed batting Jimmy Rollins standing in the batter's box.
Pull to right field. That's going to sink and drop in, a base hit. So Rollins is the tying run. He's aboard with a leadoff single.
Rollins can steal a base, although his success rate hasn't been great this year. And with Joaquin on the mound, he might try to steal a bag. Went down and got himself a changeup and served it in the right field.
So here is Chase Utley. 0 for 3 tonight. Fisker goes 8 innings. Throws 109 pitches and gives way to Benoit. He's showing bunt, and it's ball 1 outside. That was just the 4th hit of the game for the Phils, and their first hit in quite a while since the rough single back in the 4th. Fisker had a stretch of retiring 12 consecutive hitters. Fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fly ball in the air toward left. Dirk cruising over. He is under it, and that's the first out of the inning. Rollins will tag but not move up. 1 out. By the way, as soon as this one ends, you know what's coming up next. Tigers Live postgame. You'll hear from manager Jim Leland, all the players as well. A breakdown of the game, the highlights, everything coming up. Tigers Live immediately after the game right here on Fox Sports Detroit. So here is Delman Young.
And be careful here if you're Joaquin Benoit on the very first pitch to Delman, especially if you throw him a fastball. He's aggressive.
Delman looks at a ball outside. 1-0. 1 for 8 in his career against Benoit, and he's also knocked into 7 double plays this year, the 3rd highest total on their team. Rollins led it off with a single. He's the tying run at first. Fouled straight back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Young tonight has put the ball on the ground once. He has lined out. He has flied out as well. He wasn't signed till February by the Philadelphia Phillies as a free agent. I take it back, actually January. Still late in the offseason. Runner goes, and a throw down to second is not in time. Boy, Avila made that a whole lot closer than I thought it was going to be. Rollins pretty good lead, but he's in scoring position now.
That is the 11th steal of the year for Jimmy Rollins. He's been caught 6 times. Benoit gave him time to throw. Great exchange by Avila in the throw right on the bag. Oh, and that left arm got in there just ahead of the tag of Hernan Perez.
Well, here's a really good look. Oh, did he just beat it or what?
You can't make a better throw than Avila made right there.
So the tying run in scoring position now, 1-2. Delman Young. Swing and a miss to strike him out. 2 gone. Huge out there by Benoit.
I like the way that he changed the eye level here of Delman. He goes upstairs with a fastball that Delman couldn't lay off of.
So here comes the crowd now, 42,000 strong. Darren Ruff is the last chance for the Phillies. 2 outs, runner at second in a 1-run game. And these are the types of saves that really test a closer, the slimmest of margins. 1 for 3 for Ruff. There goes Rollins. Swing and a miss. No throw to third. Another stolen base for Jimmy Rollins.
That's a gift steal there for Rollins. They weren't really holding him on and basically let him have that steal of third.
Now the tying run just 90 feet away with an 0-1 count on Darren Ruff. Bouncing ball second base side. Perez has it, should do it, and the Tigers win game 1. No runs, a hit. They strand a runner at third on his birthday. Joaquin Benoit nails down a 1-run save. Tigers a winner here tonight. 2-1 your final score. Back with more from the ballpark.